Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to make Pico de Gallo. If you didn't know, Pico de Gallo translates from Spanish as rooster's beak, and it's told that it's because people used to eat the Pico de Gallo with their fingers, which resembled a rooster's beak. So today I'm going to make this popular dish, plus we're going to use it to create some incredible, tasty guacamole. This is so easy to do, so let's dive in. Okay, to start off, we're going to need a red onion. And I like to use a red onion because it adds beautiful color and gives it a little bit of bite. But sometimes a red onion can have just a little too much heat. So a trick that my brother taught me was to chop the red onion and soak it in cold water while I'm preparing the other vegetables. So that's where we'll start. The next ingredient we need are tomatoes, and I always prefer a good summertime tomato, but we can't always get a hold of a summertime tomato, and in those cases I usually go with the Campari tomato. You can buy them in most grocery stores. They come in a container and they're on the vine, and when you smell it, you can actually smell the tomato. These work perfectly when you can't get a good summertime tomato. So let's get these chopped. Look how beautiful these tomatoes are. I chopped a big batch because we're taking pico and guacamole to a party tonight, so I needed to make a large batch of it. Now for some heat. I have jalapeños and serrano peppers. I suggest when you chop your peppers, take a little taste and get a feel for the heat level because these vary so much one batch to the next. So we'll go ahead and get these chopped and we'll add them to the mix. Now remember, for the peppers, you want to remove the seeds and the membrane. And I just use a little spoon and scoop them out. And then check the heat level on those peppers and see where they are so that you don't overdo it. You can always add more, but it's sure hard to take it away. We are literally leaving for this party in about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna use my trusty little chopper again. That took about 20 seconds. And I'm only adding part of the peppers. I'm pushing these aside so I can taste test, and I may add some more of those later. Pico de Gallo is most commonly made with lime juice, but instead of lime, I prefer a tomatillo. A tomatillo looks a little bit like a tomato, and it comes with this paper husk on it. And you'll just peel the husk off and wash these under really warm water because they have a sticky substance. So let's go ahead and chop these. I'm just going to cut these into chunks, and I'll use my little chopper on these too. And of course, if you don't have a chopper, they're very inexpensive, but you can just chop with a knife. I forgot to mention earlier that I'm adding fresh cilantro. I know some people have an aversion to cilantro, but our friends all like it, so I'm just going to chop it stems and all. The stems have so much flavor, and toss it in the bowl. I've drained our onions, so I'll add those. And I'll give this a stir. Now that our veggies are mixed well, we'll add our salt, black pepper, and granulated garlic. And I prefer granulated garlic because I think it distributes a little more evenly. And it just doesn't have the harsh raw taste that sometimes you get from just chopping fresh garlic. Now, all the directions are below, but I always give this a taste and adjust the seasoning if needed. Okay, let's see how this is. It's great. I don't need to do any adjusting. If I wanted to kick it up a notch, I could add a few more peppers, but not all of our friends like super spicy foods, so I'm gonna keep it as is. Doesn't need anything else. Now let's move on and throw that guacamole together because we're leaving here in a little bit. Okay, let's make this guacamole. I've washed my avocados and I'll just cut them in half, remove the seed, scoop them into a bowl. That took just a couple of minutes to cut these in half, and now I'm just going to mash them. This is my favorite tool for this step. I used this back when I ate meat for ground beef, but now I use it for avocados. I like my guacamole chunky, so I do this instead of a fork, but a fork works fine. Okay, I have mashed the avocado. Now we'll just take a couple scoops of our pico and toss that in. Sprinkle in a little bit of salt, granulated garlic, and black pepper. We'll give it a taste and this will be finished. Okay, there we have it. I just need to put these in two beautiful bowls. So now we have two beautiful bowls, a fresh, bright, vibrant Pico de Gallo and a creamy, rich, delicious guacamole. That is flawless. Let's try the guac. These will be a hit at the party tonight. I promise these will be a hit for you, whether you're snacking solo or whether you're making this for a group of friends. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed our time together, please click the like button and subscribe so you can catch the next recipe, and I'll see you then.